Rural Heritage on RFD TV is brought to you by Rural Heritage Magazine, a bi-monthly magazine featuring articles about farming and logging with draft animal power, small-scale diversified family farming and homesteading, and other aspects of our rich rural heritage. Rural Heritage Magazine, borrowing from yesterday to do the work of today. For subscription information, please call 319-362-3027 or order online at www.ruralheritage.com. Hi, I'm Joe Mishka welcoming you to another episode of Rural Heritage TV. A few weeks ago, we introduced you to Russ Little, who operates Dry Ridge Outfitters trail riding service at Harriman State Park in Idaho near Yellowstone. In that episode, Russ told us about the history of the park and how he got started with the trail ride business. Today, we're going to learn about the horses he uses to take novice riders into the wilderness.
You wouldn't know those two are studs. They act like they're buddies.
Right.
So,
Right.
and the third, yeah, the third stud's the same way. The little brother to the blue one.
Every horse has a job.
Yeah, and you know, a stud horse can be kind of annoying to other horses.
Sure.
And so, I kind of hook them a lot together, just because they can annoy each other, and they eventually just drop all the shenanigans. But in the wintertime, I got all my teams in one corral, and there'll be 3 stallions, 5 or 6 mares, 5 or 6 geldings. They all just stay in one corral. You know, the mares aren't cycling. Everything's pretty peaceful. So these horses, they come up and gather in the round pen, and then they come in here single file. This is the only time they ever get any treats, is right before they come to work. Because I don't want to imprint they get done with work and then they get a treat.
Yeah.
We want them to come to work and get the treat, which even then it's only a mouthful. In our business with dude ranching, guest ranching, trail riding, whatever you want to call it, if anybody's had a bad experience, it was probably with a barn sour horse. And so the horses are never allowed to go faster coming back than we went out. And I don't have any barn sour horses. No, they never even pick up the pace. And a lot of that also comes from when they get back here off of their morning ride, they could be here for 5 or 10 minutes and then they go again. So there's no incentive to get home early. And so, yeah, barn sour is very, very dangerous, and that's how we curtail that. So I usually throw the halters on, and then when we have 10 or 12 employees going, one of them will take the horse, put him here, and then all the horses have their own gear. This is our tack room. Every horse has its own stuff. So this is Homer's. It's been Homer's every day for years and years. He has the right pads, the right bridles. So that makes it really good for new help, because as soon as they learn the horses, then they automatically know the tack. This is a out of my old stud. His registered name was Candy's Dandy. 50% American Brabant stallion, and then he's out of a crossbred mare, so he's actually 3/4 draft. And 4 years old, already packing guests. His other brother that we match up with him to pull the sleigh, he was packing guests as a 3-year-old. And so, you know, that's money in my pocket if they can get into work a year earlier. You know, that's saving me a lot. So, but yeah, these first few horses are all out of that first stallion I had. He made his mark on our business, to say the least. And he was raised by Marvin Brisk over in Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got him a few years ago and then just started crossing him on different mares. Figured out which ones we liked, then bred him some more. So this one here is out of that same stallion, and then a American Brabant Halflinger cross mare. So that's an American Brabant Percheron cross. Same cross on the top with a Friesian Percheron mother. So those there are 3/4 siblings.
Most of your customers got to stand on that box to get on their horse?
Yeah, a lot of them. So this is a 2-year-old here. He's out of an appendix bred mare, and then he's the first colt out of Boss. So we're training him this year, very impressed. I put my life in his hands here a week ago in some really nasty country. It was a 6th ride and never bobbled. Had every excuse to get us all killed, but he did his job.
You've seen our America's Rule Yesterday 3-book set covering life on the farm in the early 1900s. We're excited to bring you a 4th edition to the series, Early Tractors, featuring more than 250 photos of early American tractors like Alice Chalmers, Oliver, John Deere, Farmall, Minneapolis Moline, and lots more. Most of the photos are of new or almost new tractors back in the day, showing exactly how they were configured when they came out of the factory. Tractor collectors, history buffs, and folks simply wanting to reminisce about farm life in America's Rule Yesterday will love to have this book. It sells for $24.95 plus shipping. If you buy more than one book in the series, the price per book goes down all the way to $69.95 for all 4 books. To order, call toll-free 877-647-2452 or visit www.mishka.com. That's 1-877-647-2452.
You know, most guest ranches you go to won't have any idea where their horses were before, how old they are. Every horse that's come through so far, we were there the day they were born. This is out of my dad's Morgan Stallion and a Percheron Friesian mare that we had. Really a good horse, but his mind's always busy. He's like a border collie dog. You got to keep him busy or he drives you nuts. He's, you know, just always thinking, looking for stuff to do. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Got a lot of style. One of the things I love about the Brabant Association is getting to know everybody. Like I said, I got my first stud from Marvin and Pam. AJ Wilson has some of the colts out of my mare. This colt is out of Tara and Rick Price in Montana. Their stallion Fritz. And so I have a few colts that are out of different stallions just from getting to know the people, and it's been a lot of fun. This is another 4-year-old. They needed a blue filly and I wanted a big gelding, so we traded when they were babies, and been really impressed with that stallion as well. That's a good size. That's a good size for a Haas. Eesh. That's a good size for a dude horse.
That's a big horse.
Yeah. Just solid, you know.
It's a long way down.
Yeah, you want them to stay on.
Yeah.
You don't want to have a lot of high withers or bony backs, because those people aren't going to ride right, and they will tend to sore up a horse more than someone that doesn't know how to ride.
Okay.
And so people don't understand how much the horse is compensating for. Not just the way they act, but also the way they're built.
Okay.
You get horses like this little guy here, and he, you know, a 12-year-old's probably as old as he's gonna pack. He's starting to get a little older too,
And not a heavy
and
12-year-old.
yeah, we're always kind of keeping an eye on them. We put 2,200 miles on every horse last year, which
Really?
most people don't do that. Not even
2,200.
2,200
in
miles
country.
under saddle
Wow.
riding them.
So you got shoes on what, about half of them?
Yeah, and they're starting to put them on in 1st of June, so some of them are starting to come off, and we probably won't reshoe them. Most of them, between the breeding and also we're not in very rocky ground,
Yeah.
most of them can do about 1,500 miles barefoot.
Wow.
But if I get a feeling that I'm going to put more miles on than that, we'll go ahead and put one set on.
Okay.
My dad's up in the granite rocks of the Tetons,
Okay.
and he puts 2 sets on a lot of horses, especially when they used to be when they were younger and really, really going as hard as they possibly could.
That 27-year-old horse that you showed me at the beginning, he's got really good feet.
Yeah, he's never taken a lame step. He doesn't wear shoes.
Good feet.
Mustangs, Morgans, the Brabants, and a select few of the quarter horses I've had the best luck with. That's where I start. When I'm looking at a horse, either to breed or to buy, they gotta have good feet. This one here is another full Brabant. He's out of a mare we just registered named Brenda, who was a 50%er, and then Bruin, who was a 50%er.
Okay, so he's a full American Brabant.
Yeah.
He's a 50%
Yeah.
European Brabant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you know, the association's definitely it's evolving. It's always going to evolve and different definitions. And when we went after these horses, you know, 10 years ago, 8 years ago, I didn't even know there was an association or going to be an association. I was just looking for good horses. We found the horses before we found the association.
Yeah.
And then the association was just kind of a bonus because I've really liked the people that are in it. I don't need to be part of an association. It's not going to make any difference to me. But it is nice when there's some fun people to do business with. If you want to find a horse that's going to work, go talk to Russ, because he's ran them through the ringer. Their suckers are busy 10 months out of the year.
Doing a diverse number of things.
No stalls. We don't baby them. They don't get supplements. They're on mountain grass and then hay that we put up.
Yeah.
We will give them a molasses lick, just to kind of keep them a little fleshier when we're really cranking the miles on. But yeah, they gotta fit our program. We're not going to change our program to fit any particular horse. So these are the type of horses I like to breed to the draft studs.
Yep.
She's got some Morgan in her and some quarter horse. She's got a big motor in her. She's not even really the friendliest horse. She's not a in your face buddy type horse, but she is all business. She will work. Got good feet, good legs, good stamina. Cross them on the American Brabant stallion, and you've got a colt that's going to work for you for 25 years. And she had me a little blue stud colt this year, and I was tickled to death. You know, the one thing I took from college 25 years ago was there was more variation within a breed than between breeds.
Right, exactly.
So your very best quarter and your very best Morgan and your very best, even your Brabant, are going to be more similar than your worst of any of those breeds compared to your best. We have a lot of mares that have their own colts in the string. We have a lot of siblings. A lot of them are related. These mares here have all had babies in the last couple of years. I don't have brood mares. I have mares that work for me that happen to have a colt every other year or so. So she had
at the end of the year.
Yeah, she had a colt this year. It was really nice of her because we tried to name all of our colts according to the year they were born. So the 22nd letter in the alphabet is V. Well, both my grandpas were Vic and Vern, and she had a blue stud colt born on my grandpa Vern's birthday. So that was really easy to name.
When's his birthday?
April 2nd.
So
Turn around, Sarah.
She's not in full now.
No, she's just an easy keeper. Yeah, so she had a foal, raised it until middle of July. We pulled the foal off and then put her back to work. We've probably taken a dozen horses home, like a lot of the 2-year-olds and 3-year-olds we were training. There's probably 10 or 12 less horses now than when we're really busy because I don't have the help that's training. So when I try to give all my crew like a 2-year-old and then a 3-year-old to train, some of them quite aren't up to that, but we try to give everybody 2 horses to work for the year. One to learn from and then one that's getting close to pack and guess. So, and then this is my old mare. She's the one I've had the longest out of all of them. Morgan Quarter Horse Cross. This is one that I was able to run down a wolf on. I've been killing our cows and take care of him. So, yeah, oh yeah. She had a pistol, and first person I know of this century to kill a wolf on a horseback. But that's just right up her alley. That's what she likes. So yeah, we had a pack of wolves in there killing calves, and was able to get a hold of that one at least. So that's how we do it. That's how we saddle.
How many do you have out here now?
I think there's probably 40.
So the bridles go on and they get cinched up when your guest is standing next to
Yeah,
them?
we cinch him as we saddle in the morning, and then we put the guest on and then cinch him again, and then we'll also check the cinches midway through the ride when we take our break. We have a stop after an hour and take a break. So, and that's how we expect him to act. You know, no kicking, no fighting, no biting. So.
Yeah, they're just swishing tails.
They're supposed to have manners. So it is a pet peeve of mine when people say my horse won't do this or my horse won't do that or my horse kicks or my horse bites, and they just kind of make an excuse for them. And all of them will do those things, but they won't if you tell them not to. So they're expected to be there and have good manners. Because in our business, they've got to make up for the safety of other people that don't have any clue what's going on.
Right.
I mean, they're a big, tough animal, and they can be dangerous.
Right.
But, and so they've got to make up for other people's foolishness their foolishness and then sometimes even ours. And so we have it wrote down right there on the whiteboard. You have a 1 in 1,700 and something chance of falling off. It's this one right here. Which we're proud of that fact. That's why I'm able to post it. So we've actually had 3 people out of, I don't know, 6,000 or something. So we'll do the math, and it'll be close to that. It hovers right around that all the time. We update it every month or so, but I ask them, are you willing to take those odds? And so they say, yeah, I'll take those odds. So
I love this board.
Stuff comes and goes. So this is High Country Boss. He's out of Bell. It just came through. And then Bruin, which was registered name's Candy Dandy that Marvin Brisk raised. I think, in my opinion, he outdid his mom and his dad. He's got the best of both of them, which combined to make heck of a horse. Good mind, good work ethic, chest. I mean, we have a hard time faulting him.
Right. He's got a great top line.
Yeah. Big old thick neck, near perfect feet.
Right.
I haven't touched his feet. We haven't trimmed him since last fall. He's been running just basically wild out in the pasture. So, Haas, grab her up, will you? But he's really, I think, I'd like to get him tested too, but he had 10 foals this spring, all of them roan. So he could be a homozygous roan producer. His dad was not. His dad would throw a solid colt every now and then. But yeah, I'd like to get him weighed too. I haven't weighed him this spring.
How old is he?
5. Yeah.
Cash.
If you want to get on, go over here on the left side.
Want to get on? It's just like
You're gonna pinch that pepper full bath.
you and Daddy.
You ready, hon?
I'll let you help her out.
What's your name?
Ellie.
Ellie. We know an Ellie.
We call her Elbow.
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 Is your brother named Kneecap?
No.
What? Thought you had a trend going on.
This is called a mane.
You ever rode a horse before?
She did in the Black Hills.
Oh.
We stayed at a nice place that had a...
All right, let's get you right here on Dozer. And then you're gonna ride Rook right here.
Right. Oh, that's so fun. That's...
One more. Go ahead and give Ringo a little kick. There you go. Let's go right there, Sarah.
Good job,
Hold
guys.
on, we'll go. What?
This program is available for purchase. To order your copy, please call 319-362-3027 or visit www.ruralheritage.com. Rural Heritage is a bi-monthly magazine dedicated to draft animal farming and logging, as well as other aspects of our rich rural heritage. It is published by Mishka Press, which also offers a complete line of back-to-the-land books, DVDs, and calendars. Call or write for a catalog or subscription information, or visit our website at www.ruralheritage.com.